is Josh. This is...
I'm Ben.
This is Ben. Thanks for checking out this video. We're part of Brook Music, and today we're talking about keys specifically.
Yes.
And not just keys, but how to program keys using a software named Mainstage. It's kind of the main software that most of the keys players use at Brook.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a little bit of Ableton and stuff like that, but from my experience, Mainstage is kind of the easiest way to get started.
For sure.
Super user-friendly and all that.
Yeah. If you have a MacBook, it costs $30, so it's the program to get, for sure.
And Ben is here because he's one of our premier keys players.
Premier?
He is the primetime best of the best. And he uses Mainstage, and he has a really great bass line. I wanted him to show you that because I think it'll be helpful for you as you learn how to use Mainstage and navigate through it. It'll be super helpful, but before we get there, I just want to ask you one or two questions just to kind of set up what the bass line thing is all about. So as a keys player, what are the main things you need to look for? What are the main sounds?
Yeah.
What are you trying to cover as a keys player? When I think of me as a guitar player, besides my guitar and amp, there's three effects that you need for worship, right? There's overdrive pedal, delay, reverb. As long as I have those three things, I can make worship sounds, and I'll get it figured out. So what would those things be for keys?
Yeah, well, I think let's make this a little more complicated.
Great.
So
exactly
I want to tell you what I used to think it was, and then now what I think it what I think it is now.
Great.
It might change at some point, but when I first started playing keys, my thought process was it was to cover everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I would oftentimes spend hours and hours working on building sounds that I could do all of the things, and I would make chord triggers and different things like that would play different parts and just cover way too much stuff and be like, oh, I don't need any tracks.
Yeah.
And that was great. It sounded cool, and there were some contexts where we didn't have the ability to have tracks, and then in those moments it was kind of a cool thing.
Nice.
But oftentimes what I would find is that I would spend all my time not practicing the songs and just building sounds, and I was spending 10, 12 hours a week programming these different sounds.
Yeah.
And then there was one time where we were, we were going to do a retreat together, and I was like, you know what I need? I just need a really solid piano sound. I need really, really good pads and an organ.
Yeah.
And I was like, and if I have all those things, I can build little pieces that fit that I need for each song within that. And so that's where this whole idea of this bass line came from. And so that's the way I look at music now, is this, I have a bass line that I go into every single song with. And then those three sounds, they change depending on what the song needs, but I have those three things at all
But they're set up
times.
there from the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and then you edit from there.
Yep.
That's super cool.
And so I think that's the kind of the three things that are really important to have, and then after that, each song has specific things that you need to play.
Yeah.
There's different lead lines and different things like that.
Specific parts.
Specific parts.
Yeah, because as a worship leader on a team, that's what I look for in a keys player is someone who can not so much hit all the synth sounds that you hear on the track, but really nail the specific piano parts.
Yeah, and now my practice has totally changed too, to where I already have a good baseline of what I'm doing, so I'm matching piano tones as close as I can get, or not necessarily exactly what's on the record, but what fits the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it needs more of an attack, or maybe it's really soft, depending on what the song needs and where it is in the set. And then most of my time is spent working on the actual parts.
Cool.
And then what I was saying too, though, is that each song, sometimes they will have a synth that sticks out. So then I'll add that to the bass line, and I'll have that in a different section where I can play those lines.
Yeah.
So
just kind of building off of your bass line that you already have.
Yes.
That's super cool. Well, with that said, you answered all my questions.
I did.
Yep, I only had to ask one.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So what we're going to do now is Ben is just going to show you what the bass line looks like and kind of walk through how to set it up.
Yep.
And it's going to be a lot of fun. Here we go.
So here is my Mainstage setup. So I have a couple songs here that I threw in here for you to kind of go through with me. But this is the template. This is kind of what I start with on what I was talking about. So I have a piano, a pad, and an organ. So I'm running Keyscape for my piano sounds. And then for pads, it's a combination of Omnisphere and different things that I have from here. So I also have some pads going on in this stuff. So, and then I have an organ, and I set my rotor speed right there, so I can kind of play through and. So I have all three of those. Yep, and here's my piano. And then, so basically, what I do is, like I mentioned in the first section of this video, is per this song I'll go in and I'll just decide like what I think the song needs. Maybe it needs something that's bright, which is that, or something along these lines. Got something pretty bright there. I mean, ridiculously bright. Let's get rid of that organ. Or then, depending on if I want something a little more soft or extremely like set up. So it depends on the song. Depends on what we're going for. And then pads. Also, I'll kind of change the sound of the pads if it's more, like a song one that we do or something like that. But if it's towards the end of a set, it'll be something along these lines. But I can also change it up. Kind of do something like that. And then that's where I start. That's my bass line. And then if I want to add something, so say we have a song and it has like a synth lead or something like that, what I'll do is I'll go in and I'll create something like this. So these pads are going to have a little bit more guts to them because the song's more beefy and stuff. So I've got this kind of vibe going on. Got us some piano if I need it, but and then for the synth line, it's up here. Oops. So I can kind of play both parts if I need to for this song or whatever. So you get that, and then another example, tremble. So in this, I added another pad to it too that kind of has a little bit of like a cool delay kind of thing. So I went, okay, I don't need an organ for this one, right? I'm not going to be playing organ on tremble. So what can I do with just kind of extra space and stuff? And so I added, and this has got this. Yep, so we got stuff like that. And then there are some songs that we play too that kind of lend better to not a piano thing. And so then I'll go in and kind of create some Rhodes and some different things like that. And so this is an example of that. Yeah, so you get just different things along those lines of, whatever the song needs, and then I just build from there. And so oftentimes I'll be adding something like this up to the top to kind of play something. But then a lot of times when I'm playing, it looks like this. And the cool thing too about my my template that I start with and stuff is I created this little spot. So if I need to write little notes about like last time, hold a one or something like that, I can make a little note. I don't need that to be capitalized. Or, something like that. It just works, you know. So,
Those
so yeah.
are the notes that I put on.
Yeah. So, or like I'll go, okay, I can't remember this one section, so I'll go 1, 6, 4, 5, you know, and then that's just the note that I have up there. So when we get to that
And
section,
this lives right here in the middle.
yep. And then when I'm going through, it's for that
Got
song.
it.
Yep.
Cool.
So yeah, that's kind of a cool little thing too. And then as far as just the sounds and stuff I'm using a lot of keyscape and a lot of Omnisphere.
Well, there you have it.
We did
Ben
it.
just did the stuff. So cool. Thanks for doing that.
Absolutely.
So if someone is watching this and
Yeah.
they want your setup exactly how it is,
Yep.
would they be able to get this template?
Yes, they can get this template from me.
Nice.
It's easy. I can send it over an email. It's pretty easy to do.
Nice. So hit us up. We'll give away Ben's email,
There we go.
and you'll be pen pals. There's plenty more of this kind of stuff to come, so subscribe to the channel, learn lots of stuff, and thanks for being a part of our church. Or if you're a part of another church, thanks for doing that too. Goodbye.